our in-depth horror discussion on Jennifer's Body.
Horror review from a horror fan's perspective.
We break down the scenes and everything.
Scene by scene, in-depth discussion. Alright, Jennifer's Body.
Alright, watching the trailers, you think it's just going to be like a poor attempt of Hollywood horror with like, from a girl's perspective.
No, you think that they just got like a hot bitch to play in this horror movie, so it'll get a lot of fans.
Is hot. Hey,
so it'll sell. But they actually did a pretty good job.
Let's put them together and see how much money we can make.
The story's real good. I mean, like, you know, for like a witchcraft kind of like, kind of movie kind of style.
Yeah, a lot of people hate on the horror remake.
It's kind of like an occult.
2000s.
It's like an occult movie.
Not to say that this is original, but the dialogue's pretty witty and pretty tight.
Alright, so let's jump in. Scene 1. Opening with the 20th Century Fox
logo.
And you're like,
Opens, then the opening scene,
is outside Jennifer's
You can tell
house.
It's the ending, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell it's the ending.
It's one of those ones where they started off with the ending, but they don't show you what happens.
So they're going up to the house, and it's like the tire swing in the
Jennifer's
tree,
room.
and it's all dark, and you're like,
And it's like freaking Megan Fox without any makeup. So
Megan Fox got no makeup, ugliest.
And then out of nowhere, you see
the chick from freaking Mean Girls, the one who checks her freaking boobs for like the weather at the end of the movie. It's her like at the freaking window.
Amanda Seyfried.
It's her staring at the window.
Like, in the window, only a flash of the pan. Then it cuts over, and she's like, "Hell is a teenage girl." And it's a voiceover.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Then it opens up with the insane asylum scene as we know it.
And she's like sitting there with like rag dolls like all on the floor like in her cell.
What is she saying? She's like, "I'm known as the kicker."
And they're going through all of her files and like explaining it.
Yeah, the trailer makes you think she's the good one. And
but then they
Jennifer's
start off
the bad
with this,
one.
And you're like, oh no, what the...
So it's kind of a twist to start off, and you're like, okay. And then she's like, "I'm known as the kicker," and that's when she like kicks the black bitch, and then she's like, "I recommend you to shut the fuck up."
Alright, she's going to the lunch line, freaking kicks the black bitch, she's like, "I want mayonnaise."
It's the opening scene with a bang. And then she starts with the voiceover again of the story.
Yeah, they sent her to the freaking
solitary
confinement. Freaking.
And it's the voiceover, and she introduces the story, and she's like, "This is Devil's Kettle."
And they show like the freaking waterfall thing, like the pit hole.
She's like, "It's a waterfall. It's actually a suction cup."
She's like,
which is like a secret portal or something.
She's like, "They don't know where it goes. Maybe to China."
And she was like, and then she's like, "We were normal," and she was like, "Jennifer was a cheerleader." Setting up the characters, summing up the characters.
And it's like the Chinese chick right behind her in the bleachers.
It's like, we didn't know that from the trailer.
She's like, "You're totally lesbian gay."
She's like, "My boyfriend was in the marching band," and it's like Chip with long hair, like, and he's like in the marching band playing the drums, like the bongo set.
Also, they do the elevator music in the solitary confinement. She's like, "I hate this song." Alright, but
she's like, "You're total lesbo gay," the chink bitch in it.
So then it cuts to the story.
And then, in the hallway, where they start talking, they're like, "Hey, we're best friends," and she's like, that's when Amanda's like, "Let's go to this rock show tonight."
Hey, you ever heard of Low Shoulder?
It's kind of similar to Purple Melon, but they're kind of even whacker.
A whole bunch of cute guys, and freaking Jennifer just looks like the chick from freaking Not Another Teen Movie when they're like, she graduated 4 years ago. She's looking like a total slut.
And she's like, "Wear something cute, okay?"
So then they go to the concert, and it's like freaking...
No, she picks up Amanda Seyfried at her house, and then that's when she's like, "Alright, I got the 2003 Chrysler Sebring, let's go." And she's talking to her boyfriend scene, and she's like, and her boyfriend's like, "You always do everything Jennifer tells you to do." Hardcore trailer line.
Like, "I got my mom's car." Alright, go.
So then they go to Stivers, your local bar.
Oh yeah, she's thinking it's a club. Yeah, freaking, they're talking to Bobby, her boyfriend, and freaking Bobby's like, "Dude, that's like freaking Stivers, your local like small town bar where all the freaking 4-year-old drunks go to get wasted, to get stiverized." Alright.
So then it cuts to the bar scene.
And they're walking in, and it's a whole bunch of freaking like hicks like drinking whiskey.
No, and it's also some kids from the high school too. One kid with a varsity jacket.
Oh yeah, he's like, "What's up,
hello,
Jennifer?
You're looking cute today." Hardcore trailer line again.
And she's like, "Yeah."
And they're like, "Oh, let's go and meet the band."
She's like, "I haven't heard that one before."
She's like, "Let's go and meet the band." And they go to talk to the band, and it's what's his name, Adam Brody or whatever, from the OC. And she's like, and she goes, "Can I buy you a drink?" And she's like, 17, can't even buy alcohol. And he's like, "Yeah." So then she goes to buy the drink, and then so the bandmates are talking. They're like, "Oh, look at that groupie,
we didn't
she's
mention
hot."
also before they leave the house, you know, when Jennifer shows up with her mom's car, when they're making out, freaking the dude starts like unzipping his own pants, like no, undoing his own belt. Like
that isn't even till later, you do.
No, it's before they left the concert. Yeah. So freaking, anyways, back to the freaking Stivers. She talks to the band guys. She's like,
and
"I'm
then
gonna
the
go
band
get a
guys
drink."
are talking to
She's
themselves,
like,
and they're like, "This girl's definitely a virgin." And they're like, "No way, dude."
And then freaking, what's her name's got like freaking telekinesis.
Amanda
She's got like special ears.
Amanda Seyfried's like playing the pinball machine. And they're like, "What about her?" And they're like, "She's the mother hen." She's like playing an 80s pinball machine.
She's like, dude, she wears like 3 sweatshirts.
So then Megan Fox brings back like the freaking shots, which are like 4th of July colors,
and
Captain
like,
America.
It's like 1 milliliter off.
And one's like uneven, like they couldn't even get it right for the movie. Like the
like,
blue's uneven in it. One's like completely underdone.
And you're like, okay, great, she's
Captain America.
And then they don't even freaking take the shots. They just go up on stage and start the song, and it's like low shoulder hardcore.
No, then Amanda Seyfried and Megan Fox start talking to each other, and they're like, "Yeah, those guys they just want to sleep with you. I heard them talking about you."
And they think you're a total virgin. She's like, "I'm not even a backdoor virgin."
And then then it cuts to the music scene.
Hold up. For all you 16-year-olds out here listening to this, just don't get herpes before you're 18.
And the band starts singing. They're like, "I'm still here breathing now."
And it's like,
as we all know, that annoying song.
And you're like, wow, are they going to play this again throughout the movie? And they do.
No, then the chord. They pimped the rights to that song. They wanted you to make it hated, so you hated the band, though.
Alright,
and the cord catches on fire.
No, so freaking Jennifer, it shows their close-up of their dome and they're watching it. So then the place just catches on fire because of her freaking mystical powers or something.
No, you're a freaking moron. She doesn't have powers yet. Their cord from the guitar catches on fire.
Is that what it was? I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was just shut up for this moment. And it burns down Stivers. And then they sneak out to the bathroom.
Bar. No, it doesn't even make sense because they run out. Yeah, they run out through the back door of the bathroom through the window, and they get outside, and it's like nobody like calling the police or like yelling or anything, and it's just like the freaking band guy, the main guy from Maroon 5, like drinking a beer, like he freaking poured a drink on the way out.
He stole a freaking beer off of the freaking table. That's all he did instead of saving anyone. It was hilarious.
And he comes out and he's like, "So you guys need a ride?"
And then it shows 2 like hardcore stuntmen in the freaking suit, the fire suit. Like coming out, and then she talks to him.
They show one guy coming out in the fire suit, and then they show another one, and it's like slow-mo, and then he's like, "So, you gonna come with us? Come on, we can go to my van."
And then Amanda Seyfried doesn't want Megan Fox to go with them, but she reluctantly
She's like,
goes.
And she's like in total like retarded 16-year-old mode. She's like, yeah, I'll go with you in your van.
And then it cuts to Amanda Seyfried voiceover again.
Let's go to your van.
She's like, "These band members are evil. Evil like the tree I saw as a kid."
Yeah, so they get inside the van. That part was just
so random.
She's like, yeah, it was evil like this tree I saw when I kid.
And it shows some tree that's not even an oak tree.
Of her when she was a kid looking up at a tree.
It's like a dead pine tree.
And it's a total set inside freaking Warner Brothers. All right, go on. And freaking like smoke from the grips.
Jennifer goes with them in the freaking van, and Amanda Seyfried calls up Chip. And she's like, "Oh man, I'm worried about Jennifer. The freaking Stivers caught on fire. Da da da." And then Chip's like, "Well, did you get the make and model of the van that she went with?" She's like, "I don't know, an '89 Rapist or something."
Oh yeah, '89 Rapist. And then there's the knock at the door.
She hears a noise, and then it's a hardcore like horror filler where she's just walking around from room to room. Doing it, she sees nothing.
She comes out the front porch and there's nobody there. And then she's like, "Alright, there's nobody here, so I'll just go." And they're boyfriend and girlfriend. She doesn't say "I love you" or anything. And they're just like, "Alright, see you later." Even though even though she just told him the whole dramatic story of how freaking the freaking town.
But it was like a
the bar just
night.
burned down. Freaking everyone's on fire. Freaking Jennifer went with some random band, and freaking she tells him that story, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And then at the end of the conversation, she's like, "All right, we'll see you later. All right, bye bye." And it doesn't even make sense.
Anyway, so she's walking around like I said, 'cause she hear the noise. And this is when we first
see Jennifer. She goes in
like
the kitchen. No, it's like
she's
filler.
Like
no, filler, and she goes to the kitchen, and it's the freaking. No, it's the sink dripping, and it's that filler, and it goes to that, and then she turns around, and it's Jennifer, and you're like, oh, blood all over, and you're like, oh.
And then she's like, "Are you afraid?" And then it's the scene where she freaking eats the Myers rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, and then freaking doesn't say
anything. She throws it on the floor.
She doesn't say anything, acts like an animal, and then then she said the first thing she says when she rips into the hallway, like beating her up, and she's like, "Are you afraid?"
No, then like, she throws out the freaking black symbiote stuff like Spider-Man 3.
She throws up, and it's like Venom's like symbiote, like freaking like all with needles, like.
That part's crazy.
Anyways, yeah, it's pretty tight special effects. Pretty tight special effects.
No, it's pretty tight.
But anyway, so
cuts to the high
Jennifer
school
runs
the
away.
next day. Cutscene to the high school the next day.
She runs down the road like it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something.
Shut up. Everyone talking about the fire.
Yeah, so everybody's at the school like, "Oh man, did you hear?" And it's like the principal, and he's like telling the class, he's like, "Kids, in these hard times, it doesn't matter."
Yeah, and you see J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah,
so
J.
you're like,
Jonah
is
Jameson.
this Spider-Man 3?
Like, is this Spider-Man? No. And then he's the teacher, and he's like, "So in these hard times, it doesn't matter who's a cool dude or who's a hoe." And it's like the funniest shit, because if you think in real life, if the teacher said the funniest shit in that situation.
So then Amanda Seyfried's character, which is called Needy. We'll call her Needy from now on.
Wow.
She sees Jennifer the next day, and they talk about last night. And she's like, "Dude, what happened last night? You came over, you freaking threw up on my da-da-da."
And she's like, "What are you talking about? I'm Jennifer. I don't throw up."
And she shows her nails, and it's like all dirty from the symbiote.
It's like the symbiote's oil, like gunk on her nails. She's like, "I was up all night scrubbing your freaking ass."
And then Jennifer's like, "You need to find a Chinese chick to fix your situation."
She's like, "You need a Chinese chick to fix your nails, to buff your situation." It was hilarious.
And then J. Jonah Jameson's just like, "This too will pass."
Alright.
No. We're going to sum up. Then it's the high school hallway scene.
Sum up the rest of this scene. We'll go to part 2. So go on.
High school hallway scene. We meet Colin Gray.
Who's like your freaking like every
your
kid
token emo in high school that everyone hates.
Black finger pale knowledge.
At it.
Those kids with the freaking sneakers and the freaking gothic pants with the chains. Yeah, one of those kids.
Which is played by Kyle Gallner. And then he's just like,
"So what's up, Needy?"
He talks to Needy. He's like, "Is everyone okay from last night?"
He's like, "I hope you..."
Passes through.
He's like, "I'm glad you're not dead."
And Chip's there.
And he's like,
Chip's there, and he walks away, and Chip's like, "I thought he only talked to dead girls."
Bobby's like, "I thought he only talked to dead girls."
He's like a Chip. And then it cuts to a rock song out of nowhere, and it's like, "Keep rolling, rolling." And then and he's like Lee back on the football scene. And that's when
it's hardcore rap, and it goes zoom in like from long ass distance all the way up to freaking his dome, the varsity kid with his jacket.
Yeah, because his friend got killed in the fire.
So it must be already, after school's already out, because okay.
Yeah, so school ended.
Jennifer walks up to him.
She's like, "Let's go to the freaking." We'll start off with that scene.
We'll pick up where we left off in part 2. Jennifer's body.
Oh no.